Good morning, and welcome to episode 25 of Dinner from the Dining Car. Today is Sunday, April 18th, and today we're going off the rails. Pulled pork. Now, some of you immediately, when you heard pulled pork, thought of a sauce, a disgustingly over barbecued sauced sandwich on some sort of roll that tastes like nothing but sauce with no meat in it. There you have it wrong. This is a Spanish style pulled pork made in a slow cooker, and it's served family style, like nachos on steroids. So let me explain what you're going to need in this recipe. Hold on, I got to grab something here. Okay, you're going to need a pork roast. Now this is a loin center cut roast because it was on sale, but you can use a loin roast or pork butt roast. This one's about 4 pounds. You need at least 3 pounds. So we might not use all of this for the pulled pork. I may cut it up and make chops out of it. But you're going to slice this about 3/4 of an inch thick because we have to brown it and then, put it in the crock pot. You're going to need white onion. Now, I cheated and I bought some already diced onion because I just don't like dicing onions. You're going to need a jalapeno, or as I like to jokingly say occasionally, jalapeno. You're going to need one to cook with the meat and one for the vegetables later on. So that's why you need 2. You're going to need, and this is what throws a lot of people, Diet Dr. Pepper. This is going to cook in the crock pot with the meat and onions and the jalapeno, a little garlic, and it's going to simmer for 6 to 8 hours. You will need minced garlic. You can either chop up 2 cloves, mince them up really fine, or you can do what I do and just use minced garlic. Now there's a vegetable mixture on this. Excuse me a moment. Little something I forgot to get out of the cabinet. There's a vegetable mixture that goes on top of this. You'll put chips down on a platter, then you put a bean and vegetable mixture on top of it. Here's what goes in that. And then you'll put the pork on, or you can put the pork and the beans. Well, never mind. It's your personal taste. You're going to need 2 cans black beans. You're going to need cilantro. Now you're going to take the leaves off of the stems here. That's quite a bit of work because you're going to need a whole cup of this. You're going to need a red onion, and you're going to slice this thin. You're going to need green onions. You're going to take a couple of green onions, and you're going to dice them up for the vegetable mixture as well. You're also going to need a little olive oil, some of it for frying, and you're going to need about a half a cup for the vegetable mixture. And then you're going to need, of course, tortilla chips and a platter. I've got the tortilla chips over here. They're just off camera right now. Anyway, that's what you need for the recipe. If you'll give me a few minutes, get my apron and my silly hat on, and reposition the camera, put a new battery in it because this one's about to die, we'll get started. We need to get started. Now, if you're going to do this, you're going to have to do this relatively early in the morning because, again, it takes 6 to 8 hours to cook the pork. And once that's done, then you do the vegetable mixture and then get it assembled onto the platter. So, like I said, if you'll give me a few minutes, put on my apron and my silly hat, we'll be back and we'll get this started. Thanks a lot. Here we are, getting ready to start. Have the apron, have the funny hat. Now, the first thing you have to do is, like I said, you want to take your pork and slice it into about 3/4 of an inch slices. Then, you're going to take that in some olive oil. And you're going to brown these puppies up. You're also going to toss on a little pepper. And a little salt. Now they don't need much browning. They just need to get a little bit of a crust. That's what you're working on. Ah, there's a hole. Oh, it's already starting to smell nice in here. It may take a few minutes to brown these up. Meanwhile, I have the chopped onion and half of one whole jalapeno in this bowl. When these pork chops are done, in the grease that's left over from the pork chops, you're going to brown these, this jalapeno and onion. Now on the jalapeno, if you want this thing, spicy-wise, hot, when you dice the jalapeno, leave the core and the seeds in it. That will heat it up like crazy. If you want it a little more mild, like, you know, some of us have to have because we can't really stomach super hot food, take the core and the seeds out of the jalapeno. That always works. There. Just getting enough of a browning on them to just basically say they were in the pan and browned for a minute. Hit the other side with pepper and salt. And when you have all the pork brown, you're going to put it in the crock pot. Now the crock pot is already turned on. You can probably see it back there. It's already turned on. It's on low because this has to simmer, like I said, for 6 to 8 hours. It's now 9:30 Sunday morning, so this should be ready 3:30, 4 o'clock. That's when the fun begins. Oh, those are starting to brown up nicely. Yes. You don't want them charred up, you just want them browned, because if they're charred up, they'll be tough. And you don't want tough pork. You want this pork to be melt in your mouth, pull right apart, love it while you're eating it kind of stuff. Now, when I opened up my pork roast, I found out it was almost 5 pounds. That's too much for this recipe. So, basically, I've got about 2/3 of it, and the rest of it I sliced up into thin, boneless pork loin chops, vacuum sealed and stuck them back in the freezer. So I'm going to get like 3 meals out of this bad boy, which ain't shabby. ones that are done already, we're going to take over to the crock pot. Plop it in there. Just put it on the bottom best you can. I know it's kind of hard to do that without putting my back to the camera. Sorry, you got to do what you got to do. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, that's the salt and pepper that side. Whoa, that's got a little too much pepper on it. Oh, that's beautiful. That's just the right amount of browning I like. It actually doesn't take that long to brown these to the acceptable amount of browning. Okay, all the pork is in the crock pot. Next, you have to get out my spoon, and again, you're going to take in the fat and olive oil that you brown the pork chops in. You're going to take these jalapenos and onions. That was pretty lean pork. I may have to add just a little bit of olive oil to this. There, that'll do it. And you're just going to, oh, this smells good already. You're going to just basically saute these. Oops. Drop a little bit of onion on the floor there, on the stove. Don't want to miss any onion. Until the onions start to caramelize and the jalapenos start to release their this is basically what you have, guys. You have onions that are starting to caramelize and the jalapenos in there. Once that's done, you can shut it off. Now, you're going to take this over to your crock pot and you're going to dump this in right on top of that pork. For the fun step, let me adjust the camera so you can see it. Now, for the real fun step. You're going to open your Diet Dr. Pepper. Hopefully you're not taking a bath with it when you open it. And you're going to pour the Dr. Pepper in here until it covers the pork. I really should bring the camera over here and show you this. Again, this is a 2-liter bottle. You're going to use most of it. Once the foam goes down, you'll be able to see your level. But that's about all that's left out of a 2-liter bottle, about a quarter of it. So, okay. Once that's done, you're done prepping your... Now, it's about 9:30. You're going to cook this for 6 to 8 hours. So this will be done, be ready sometime between 3, oh crap, little something I forgot to do. This is what happens when you're not really ready. You need your minced garlic. About a tablespoon. Cilantro. Sometimes I wonder how I manage not to kill myself. And you're just going to brown this up just a little bit. There's still some oil left in the pan from the onions and the other stuff, so cover this. And you're going to take this garlic and you're going to shove it in there too. And kind of stir it around. Perfect. Okay. In the meantime, sorry, forgot what the camera was. In the meantime, I have pre-cut the cilantro. Now the cilantro, you want just the leaves. You don't want stems that you can avoid. So it's going to take you a bit to prick all those little leaves off of the stems. We don't want the stems. You have just about that. Just leaves. You're going to need about a cup. You have the other jalapeno diced in chunks. You have 3 green onions diced up relatively fine. And you have half of a large red onion sliced very thin. This is all going to go in the vegetable mixture that goes on top of the pork and the beans once you get it out of the crock pot and do the assembly. Now, cheese. The recipe doesn't call for cheese, but if you're a cheese nut and you happen to have some finely shredded Mexican or Spanish blend cheese, even Italian blend cheese will work, you can put some of that on top of this. I would put it, you know, when we're doing the assembly, you'll have the chips, the meat, the beans, the vegetables. I would put, if I was going to put cheese on it, I would go chips, meat, cheese, beans, vegetables. Anyway, that's it until 6 to 8 hours from now. We'll see you then. Okay, hello everyone, we're back. It's 7 hours later, about 20 minutes till 5, and now we've just gotten the meat out of the crock pot, and oh, if you people could smell this, you would be impressed. It really smells good in here. What we need to do now is mix all the vegetables with the beans. Now, in the sink I have drained and rinsed the 2 cans of beans. So let me get that, put it in this mixing bowl. So I can reach it. So I don't have to look so freaking stupid. Now into this bowl, along with the beans, you need to add half a cup of olive oil. Anytime today. Thank you. And in with that goes your 3 green onions that you've chopped fine, your jalapeno that you've also chopped relatively fine, your half of a large purple onion that you've sliced thin. And finally, your about a cup of cilantro leaves. Again, you want to get as many stems out of these cilantro leaves as you possibly can. You want just the leaves. And we'll mix that all in. And then you just come over here. Make sure my hands are rinsed. You just come over here and you mix this all up. Again, I do it by hand because really by doing it with a spoon, it just doesn't give you the same texture that it does mixing it all by hand. I'm going to rinse my hands off and move the camera a little closer so you guys can see what we've got here. If I can ever get all the cilantro off my hand. This is the bad part. You get cilantro stuck all over yourself. Okay. Then you need to grab a knife and a fork. All the meat is out of the crock pot. That camera a little closer if I can. So you can see what we're about to do here. Oh, that's nice. Put this away. Take all this meat, grab a knife and a fork, and you just start shredding. Now it should shred pretty well just on its own. As you can see, I'm not using a whole lot of pressure on this pork. It's just coming apart like crazy, which is exactly what it should be doing. Kind of want to get it into small chunks if you can. If not, well, bigger chunks will have to do. Oh. Next piece that falls off this plate, I may sample. Because this is good, guys. Oh, let me move this bowl here for a second so you can see that I'm actually chopping this meat up. If you really want to, you can just get in there with your hands and break it up. That actually works better than the knife and the fork, except that it's really flapping hot. Don't waste any. Yeah, this is the consistency you want out of your pork, where it just, you grab it and it crumbles in your hand. That's pulled apart pork. It's really hot though. The knife is not a bad idea. Because man, this right out of the crock pot, this'll burn you. Ah, there's another solid chunk down there I need to take out. That is really hot. I am burning myself with this stuff. That is the problem. Your best bet is pulling it apart by hand, but man, you will burn yourself to smithereens. Then, once you start getting it all crumbled apart, yeah, that's more like it. You take this and you grab you have a platter with your chips already on it. Move that that so you can see the platter. And then you'll just start putting that all over the chips. This really smells good. You can, yes. Oh, that's a lot of it. I do hope you folks can see this. This is really coming along nice. You're going to get a few fragments on your table, so don't be surprised. There, now that you have that good and covered, then you're going to take your bean and vegetable mixture and do the same. You're just going to start scooping it up and piling it on. And we're almost done. There's one thing left to do. Now, where is it? Now, you've got all this lovely sauce that you cooked this pork in. You're going to take a soup ladle. You're going to dip it in this sauce. I'm going to move this camera so you can see me do this. You're going to bring this platter, which is not going to be light, by the way, over to where your sauce is. And you're going to ladle 2 or 3 ladles full of the sauce all over this food. Oh, shit, you know, it's a darn shame they don't have smell-o-vision. There's just this sauce here. Okay, I've ended up using about 4 ladles of the sauce. Let me clean up here. Spin this around, move it down. There, right there, is your completed tray of the Spanish-style pulled pork. It's ready to serve right now. So, and the nice thing is, you have everything you need to eat right there. There's no bread you need, there's no fix the table, there's nothing additional you need. All you need is plates and an appetite. Anyway, there you have it, folks. Anton's, oh, that is so good. Anton's Spanish-style pulled pork. Oh wow, you can't see me. That's it, guys. That's it for this recipe. If you decide to make this, this will serve 6 to 8 people. It's an all-day kind of thing, but it's slow and low. Anyway, that's it. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and because that'll mess with YouTube's algorithms. And then if you really try this and like it, do me a favor and subscribe. And for, as usual, for any questions, comments, or hey Anton, can you shoot me a copy of that recipe? Email me at dinnerfromthediningcar@yahoo.com. And again, hit that like button, please. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week when we're going to be making some dessert for a change. See you then. Bye-bye.